Warning. The following program contains disturbing material that might be inappropriate for younger listeners. Parental discretion is advised.
This episode of Bev's Video Kingdom is brought to you by The Gap. Hey, psst, you. Yeah, you. You heading into that luxury boutique. You really think those clothes are going to make a difference? Bro, you know pants in there cost like $260 for one pair. You aren't going to have any money left for fireball shots at the bar. And without the fireball shots, you definitely aren't getting laid. Get the fuck out of that store and bounce on over to your friendly neighborhood Gap. We got clothes that will make you look perfectly acceptable on your schlubby body. And you'll save plenty of money so you can spend it on cheap booze and some extra mozzarella sticks at the Applebee's. That worn-out 50-year-old divorcee will swoon when she's had her 7th peach margarita and sees those lovely pleated khakis you were rocking. So swing on by today to see our amazing line of perfectly acceptable clothes that will make you look at least one level above frumpy. Because trust us, you're not better than the Gap.
It's the pleats.
It's the pleats. I'm not better than the Gap.
What did you call the divorcee?
A 50-year-old.
No, he said some adjective.
I said that worn-out 50-year-old divorcee.
Did you just say vaginative?
Yes.
I can brag your favorite podcast. Let's start this thing. Woo!
What's up, Bev's Video Kingdom? We are back, and we are talking about the 2011 romantic comedy Crazy Stupid Love, starring none other than Steve Carell.
Who are you? Michael Cera?
Michael Scott.
Michael Scott.
Oh, Michael Scott.
That's The Office, bro. I'm all Office all the time. Ryan Gosling, Julianne Moore, Emma Stone, and a bunch of other great role players. This is my pick. I am Nate.
Before we get too far, this is Zach, by the way. I want Nate to explain the way that he puts himself to bed every night, because it's very topical to this movie.
Yeah, so I actually bounce back and forth. So since I was a teenager, I had to fall asleep to television shows.
You've like conditioned yourself not to be able to fall asleep.
Like I was probably 11 or 12 and I started putting TV shows on, and I couldn't turn my brain off, so I put on, but I had to put stuff on that I had seen, so I wasn't like trying to consume it, but it had to be like distracting. Yeah. So no joke, this is not an exaggeration. I would put on the episode of Seinfeld where they go to the Hamptons and they're like, there's all the weird like baby stuff and the lobster
same
shit.
Episode?
I watched that. I put that episode on every night for bed for like 3 years when I was in high school.
Dude, no shit. I don't even know if we've never talked about this.
I don't.
But in our household, in my childhood, we grew up with the same thing. Going to bed with TV, and then
really?
I've broken that since, as far as being able to go to sleep without TV. But I would do the exact same thing. I would turn on
that show was yours when you were young.
It just depends. I would turn. Sometimes it was
whatever your parents
sometimes
were
it was a
watching.
movie. Sometimes it was most of the time it was a movie. I would just put on that you'd seen multiple times, knowing you're gonna go to sleep to it. And me and my friend Dave, who we became great friends in college, we had that in common.
It's weird that we've never talked about this, because Nikki and I have been working out together for years and talking movies, and I've never heard you say that.
And because of that, I would wake up in the middle of the night. You wake up to the DVD menu, and then you come to learn what the most annoying and most psychotically annoying DVD menus are out there. And sometimes you're too fucking tired to turn it off, and so you sit there
and you just subliminally listen to it.
Sometimes you turn it off, sometimes you don't. Hey, no bullshit. There is a website out there that is called I fell asleep at a movie or during a DVD.com. Okay. And it's just a home screen. If it still exists, I do not know, but I've checked periodically for the last 15 years. And maybe the last time I checked was 5 years ago or so. Home screen. It's basically an image of a dark living room with a little TV. It's like illustrated. The TV is it's basically you select DVD menus.
And it plays the menu music over and over again.
And it just plays the menu music, and it's like on the little coffee table is a little bit of weed and like a few beer bottles. and it's just the DVD menus.
It's for
I
peop-
swear to
it's
God.
for people like Nick who've been just fucked themselves up as children, and they just all they.
But I made it out
can't
okay.
fall
Like
asleep.
I'm okay. Like my name is Nick, and I'm a
recovering
recovering habitual DVD watcher. Yeah,
Well, see,
menu
that's-
addict.
You know what?
It's hilarious because I really thought that was a strange thing because I know in one of my buddies when he was in college down at UCSB, he would go to sleep every night watching Armageddon. And that was his jam, and he watched it like every single night.
Hey, you got all the things you need to go to
And
sleep.
the
Can't fall
best though is
asleep
that
unless-
he would have like a roommate who sometimes was getting laid and stuff, and Armageddon would just be on.
Ben Affleck and Liv Tyler on the fucking blanket.
Their room was just decked out with animal crackers.
I've got two thoughts on that.
on a jet plane.
That has two things you need to fall asleep. One, Liv Tyler. Two, a terrible movie. But B, like, what about that roommate coming in with chicks in the middle of the night and Ben Affleck's just like trying to drill into a fucking asteroid? And he's like, oh, that's just my roommate. Don't worry about it.
I promise. Have faith in me.
He won't wake up
A real negative externality of that is the roommate now cannot come unless
unless Affleck's screaming about something.
cannot get erect without Ben Affleck.
It's just a thing I got, baby. You know, it was a college thing.
Well, since we went down this road immediately, so we are eventually going to talk about the movie, but I'm going to call Brad out here since we talked about two of the four of us. Brad goes to sleep with so I've slept in a room with Brad a lot of times, and Brad insists on putting on this weird like how would you describe the music, Brad, that you like to listen to when you go to sleep? Because I hate
Mr.
it.
Bungle.
I
No.
truly hate it.
It's just like
truly hate it.
It's just
No,
sound.
no,
it's like weird sounds and shit.
no. It's just like basically like ambient music. It's
Yeah,
just,
fucking
it's-
weird
It's
sounds.
just like calm, soothing, relaxing. It's like
It's like the kind of shit you would get in like a low budget massage parlor.
Sex and drugs and house.
yeah. No, it's super. Just it's something that
It's terrible.
kind of you don't really think about it, but it's soothing, and you go to
It's
sleep.
terrible. So I back to the original question.
The reason I brought it
I'll
up.
tell you, it's way better than his snoring.
That's only when you stay the night,
I
mate.
do snore loud. So the original question. So I've now evolved. My wife is awesome, and she would totally let me just put whatever I want on the TV and sleep right through it. Maybe she's just a great sleeper, but I have some respect. So I wear one AirPod in my ear every night when I go to sleep, and I bounce back and forth. So I'll go months where I'll listen to episodes of The Office, and I just put on whatever episode. And then I'll go months where I switch over and I listen to episodes of the League. So I can.
Do you realize at some point, like during the episode, that you normally fall asleep? Is that usually 5 minutes, or is it just like sometimes you listen to the whole thing?
Honestly,
or?
I think it's like at this point, it's almost like it's more the idea of it being on than it is the thing. Because I'll fall asleep almost instantly, and then when I wake up in the night, if I wake up, which I do frequently now with my friggin' toddler, I will put it back in to go back to sleep. I mean, it's a whole problem. I'm not recovered, Nick. Just to be clear,
that is
I'm not in
wild.
recovery.
messy.
I'm fully deep in it at this point.
You gotta just take it slow, bud.
I feel like I've
12
been
steps.
falling asleep wrong for years. Like I'm doing this shit wrong.
Do you just go silence? You just
What I do is I just let my ADD go wild and I just lay down on the pillow and just sit there for 3 hours thinking about shit until
See,
I
that's what the
finally fall
soothing
asleep with
music does.
exhaustion.
That's what the ambient
And
music.
that's what the League does, bro.
But, dude,
you start watching the League.
Ambient
Apparently,
music.
I got to do
the
something.
League, ambient music. The League.
Nicky just showed me his weird website. It
exists.
The one that has the DVD menu. All right. So
That's so
here we go. We're back to crazy to crazy stuff.
Are we doing a movie podcast?
Oh yeah.
Are we? We could just. Why don't we just talk about our sleeping habits for like an hour and a half and call it a day?
How many times do you guys wake up and pee at night?
There were years where I did it for. I was a problem. I was like, do I have like a prostate issue? But now it's kind of down to one. But it's a long pee.
I don't ever get up in the middle of the night to pee, but when I do get up, it's an emergency.
It's
like
a
a
Tom
horse pee.
Hanks.
But it's
A
like
League of Their Own.
every morning by like 7 a.m. I have to pee so fucking bad. Like
A
it's
piss of their own is what they call it.
And that's a movie pop for you.
okay.
folks.
Let's get back on the movie.
Crazy Stupid Love, 2011. So this is our first. I think this is the first one that would classify on Bev's Video Kingdom as a rom com. I think so.
It's 100% a rom com, right?
No, I know,
Yeah,
but,
no, I'm
but
saying it's the
have
first
we
one
not
we've
done a
done.
rom com yet?
And so I want to talk. So I'm a rom com guy. Like and this is not my number one rom com. If I'm gonna like truly go number one, it's basically anything with Hugh Grant and then
God.
Notting Hill, Love Actually, Harry Met, and
That's
how
your
did-
go-to
How did we not? How did we not
Oh,
pick
yeah.
Hugh
Grant?
Grant?
Hugh
How did we not pick Hugh Grant in the hottest? Oh, that hasn't happened
He's
yet.
British.
Sorry, guys.
He's British.
Oh.
So anyway, so I like me some Notting Hill. I like me some Love Actually. I really love When Harry Met Sally. So I like a lot of rom-coms, and we'll definitely get to more of those on the pod here. But Crazy Stupid Love is like, for the modern day one, it has like a few special things about it. And so for me, the reason I picked it is because I think that I really love the main, like, it's not totally straight ahead. So there's some different things in it.
What year did it come out, Nate?
2011. Okay. And it's by far not a perfect movie. It's not necessarily my favorite, but I love that even though there's the main story, which is like this, Steve Carell's character, Cal, initially, separating from his wife, which, they're kind of like in that middle age where kind of not quite our age, but similar, close to the age that we are now. And so it kind of has that element of like, struggling love, right? But then there's this like many tiers of love, right? There's the son that loves the babysitter,
Right.
the babysitter that loves the Cal, and then the what we don't know originally is the daughter and the smooth, barfly Gosling.
David Lindhagen, obviously being into the
Lindhagen,
wife.
which I want to talk about. So
It's Lynn Hagen.
so there's all these.
Or which one is it? Is it Hagen or Hagen?
It's Hagen.
Hagen.
He says it's Hagen.
Oh,
I think
right.
so you-
I
Lynn
have
Hagen.
commentary.
Is it bacon or bacon?
I have commentary on this name. So
back
for
bacon.
me, one of the things that I love, and
Wrong pod.
I don't know if I would say like I guess I would say that I'm a romantic in the sense that like
You're definitely a romantic.
I'm a
bro.
romantic.
Yes.
Like I'm drawn to like love and love dynamics, but I would say that that's one of the things that, especially as I've gotten older, that like I'm not just drawn to the sort of like the caricature version of it. Like I really like the sort of different iterations and different dynamics of like romantic situations and romantic dynamics. So like I've said before on this pod, one of the things that I tend to be like oddly and sort of like masochistically drawn to is unrequited love, which there isn't quite, there's some of that here, but
The sun, right? I mean,
the sun. Yeah. So that's an element of that. So I really love the fact that this movie isn't just like the sort of boilerplate straight ahead version of romantic comedy. It gives you kind of different angles on it. So that's cool. But I'm going to shut up for a second. I want to hear what you guys have to say because I really don't have a good feel for how you guys like this movie.
Well, this is Nick, by the way. I've always liked this movie. I feel like it ranks pretty high in my list of rom-coms that I enjoy watching. The dynamic between Gosling and Carell is great, and they didn't do anything together. I don't think before or since.
I think that's the only one.
I think it's the only one.
Oh no, that's not true. In fact, they're in The Big Short together.
Oh,
And
there we go.
And it's a great, like they
it's
actually
great.
have funny different characters
do.
in that one. Yeah.
Good call. So they have their chemistry together on screen. I think is great. I'm a big Emma Stone fan.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Big Emma Stone fan, and this is before La La Land, and this is probably at the start of. This was after Superbad.
oh yeah.
Definitely after Superbad.
A little bit after
And
Superbad.
it might have been before Easy A. I'm not sure.
Superbad was like 2005 or something.
Okay, so this is on that basically that Oscar truck that she was on the way to La La Land and Gosling. Again, I'm sure this movie. I would guess this movie had something to do with their charisma because not only does Carell and Gosling do they have charisma, but Emma Stone and Gosling obviously have great on-screen charisma as being a romantic couple.
Do you think, I'll ask, you just made me think of something. Do you think that just Carell and Emma Stone are just such like just magnetic characters and actors that like it really has nothing to do with Gosling? It's just like they can do that with anybody. I don't know. I almost feel like that.
That's a good point. I would say if it was the other, one way or the other, I'd probably say there was, the two of them versus.
Because I like Ryan Gosling, but I don't feel like he's like super. He doesn't have that thing that both of those two people have.
But which makes this movie so great is because it's the balance, right? It's the cocktail of the three, and Gosling fits in perfectly. It's
does.
like so far removed from anything regarding The Notebook, right? And he's polished. Obviously, he's done some crunches and
probably a couple.
and
keto, bro. He's on that keto diet.
He has an 86 pack.
what I like about romantic comedies is they are a window into the music, right? And even if it's like the pop culture, the pop hits that are going on at the time, but this one takes a little bit of, and I was trying actually to search the last song of the movie. I'll do that a lot. You know what I mean? The one that finishes it off.
And it's a great one.
It's a great one. I've heard the one that goes into the credits. I don't know if they've spliced two songs together.
A lot of deep cuts in this one, but a great soundtrack. I agree.
And so, and I think that they made an effort to not get all of the number one top 10 VH1 hits, right? So they took an effort to make it, I think the movie is a different approach to a rom-com in 2011, and the music that they accompanied it wasn't, I don't know.
You just drop a VH1 reference?
Yes, sir.
Is that still a channel?
I'm sure it is.
My wife knows that we had the subtitles on that last scene with that song, and the song's talking about like cancer and like
It sounds like a song
some
you'd
very
love,
sad,
Zach.
like
I
depressing
really
stuff.
liked the music in this movie.
And it was like, it just the lyrics, I guess, didn't necessarily match up very well with like the scene, but that's
You have to dive
but
deep.
musically it did. I don't know about
musically,
lyrically.
yes,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
lyrically, I guess, we like watching subtitle all of our movies.
So anyways, I'm a big fan of it. Love the chemistry between multiple actors, and then the music actually helps like any good rom-com. I feel like helps like ram the story home, and because it doesn't end not necessarily completely tied up in a bow, but just enough makes you feel good enough at the end. And I dug that. I did leave it too wide open. It wasn't too dark, and it wasn't too light. So I dug it.
That. So, Brad, I'm dying to know, Brad, what you think, Brad, because Brad he's definitely the one that's the most adverse to the rom-com and the romance. And occasionally I'll hear Brad make a comment like, "There's just too much. It's too emotional." You know, like a movie, just like too much.
no.
Before he says, though, don't say it.
no.
I want to guess because I think Brad's actually going to dig this one. I think this one is the cast is so good that I think Brad's going to dig it.
I
So
can't wait to
I
hear
want to hear now.
Acting wise, really enjoyed it. I thought everybody did a great job on their parts. And Nate says the emotions. No, I love emotional movies. It's just usually I'm not going for the romantic emotional feels. Like that's not my thing for sure. I enjoyed the movie. It was very much a roller coaster in the sense that there was times when I was like, oh, here we go. This is just some bullshit, dumb romantic stuff. There's some stuff that I really liked. And it really oscillated back and forth because I would get to a point where I'm like, oh, okay, this is just kind of typical. And then all of a sudden we get like, oh, that's interesting. A nice little twist there. And I'm going to save a little bit talking about the twist for Shag's Neck Body Bag. But one thing I will say is that I really hate forced scenes. And it seems like it happens a lot in romantic comedies. And the graduation where Steve Carell gets to stand up and start just like talking shit, the crowd sits there and just listening to him. If I'm at that graduation, some dude starts standing up, I'm like, get the fuck off the stage. It's my kid's graduation. What the fuck are you doing?
Security takes Steve Carell out of there real quick.
Yeah, we're not all sitting there just like let's listen to his story and find out all about it. And then we're gonna give him a big round of applause at the end. Like that shit bothers me. And so I mean the ending, there was some weak parts, but I mean, like I said, overall, I was pleasantly surprised. I enjoyed it. It's not
Pretty funny, right? Some good laughs.
Oh yeah,
I think,
there were some good chuckles there, and Gosling. I will say, I'm not a big Gosling fan. There's not much I've seen where I'm like, oh, he's great. Like I'm super excited to see him in another movie, and so he did a good job. Although his accent, I'm not sure what the fuck he was doing.
Dude, that's a good
It's Jersey
call.
Shore,
The
bro.
accent.
We're gonna dive
It's
into
not
that
him.
accent, but
Zach, what'd you
this
think?
is Zach. I really like this movie. So I saw it originally. Wife and I watched it, and I really liked it. But that was quite a while ago, like right when it came out. And I recently, like pretty recently, maybe this year, rewatched it, and I didn't like it as much. And when Nate picked it, I was like, oh man, I just watched that. I didn't really love it. And then we watched it last night. We went to a trunk or treat downtown with our kids and had some cocktails and came back and put the movie on. And we laughed our asses off and had a really good time watching it. I really loved it. I love Emma Stone. I think she's super talented. She's beautiful, but she's not really my type of as far as beautiful, but her personality that she's one of those people, Jennifer Lawrence, I talked about this to the guys earlier off the air. Like, I feel like her and Jennifer Lawrence are like just such cool people, and maybe they're not, maybe they're just really good actresses and they're not like that in real life. But I feel like every role they come across as so personable and so cool that it's tough not to love them. So I love that. I obviously love Steve Carell. He's awesome. Gosling, I'm with Brad. The accent at the beginning, I had my trouble putting my finger on what it was. Was it Jersey Shore?
Transplant
Was it
from freaking
like
New York? Like what?
Yeah,
Mafia,
I couldn't figure out what his accent was, but it kind of goes away about halfway through the movie. It's like one of our commercials where the accents just kind of go in and out. But it's like, I didn't enjoy Gosling in the very beginning. I thought he came off as sort of douchey and just kind of forced cool guy. And then through maybe in the first quarter of the movie, I didn't like him. Then the last 3 quarters, I really liked him. And
He grows on you, definitely. He definitely grows on you.
Definitely. But
For sure.
man, a lot of laughs. I think it was a great pick, Nick. I think it's a great pick to have the wives on to do the judging for the draft. I think this is a good choice.
So I want to address something you're pointing out there, which is, what do you think the time scale of this movie is? Right, because you're sort of like there's a little bit of a transformation that goes on front to back with Gosling, and
How long does it take him to fuck 9 chicks?
oh, dude,
Is that what you're asking?
well, I mean,
There's no way he goes 9 for 9.
I think you're led to believe by the montage.
how long is he in training? Like, how long after the 9 chicks does it take to kind of like mellow things out?
How long does Miyagi train Danielson before he goes to the tournament?
I think it's like a week, maybe.
Okay, well, it's probably about that long. 10 days?
So
As long as Obi-Wan trained Luke Skywalker.
Or Yoda in the Dagobah system?
well, I mean, I'm saying like the time scale of this movie is like start to finish, like 6 months. You think that's right?
I think
8 months, maybe.
6 to 8 months. Yeah, less than a year.
Okay, so
I'd say 4 to 8. I think it's 4 to 6 months.
it can be a pivotal 4 to 6 months for
Because it has to be within
right?
a
He
school
sort of
year. You got
grows
the
up.
parent-teacher conferences. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like as far as
Parent-teacher
like when
conferences
he
usually be the beginning of the year, but that's
middle
he's
of
already
the
fucked a bunch
semester,
of chicks by then.
middle of semesters, right? The middle of the
No, that's back to school night you're thinking of.
because these are parent-teacher.
I just did parent-teacher conference on
And
or Wednesday with my
Yeah,
daughter.
but school's been going on for a while.
Yeah. So, but I mean,
It's about the midway
October.
point. It's a little past the midway point, though. A few
All
weeks
right,
back.
all right. So let's
Not long enough for Julianne Moore to get another serious boyfriend, or at least not really, and not, but long enough for. Wait, what? Why are you looking at me?
Did
Like
she
that?
have
Serious boyfriend. She was
Well,
fucking the dude.
she's-
That's
it's
part of the
Lindog.
reason.
It wasn't
why-
her boyfriend. She wasn't really into it, dude. Like that
did
was.
she have another boyfriend?
No, but I'm saying she didn't have enough time to get another boyfriend.
Yeah.
And there's dudes that are going to be wanting to date Julianne Moore. But one thing you brought up, the timeline of the movie, is that you said, I think, Nate, you said that they're older than us, but they're definitely not. We're just old now. This movie came out 10
old
years
are
ago.
we?
I don't know, but
No, we're
Carell,
about in their age
when I
range.
see Carell, it's funny because
Well, she
this
said
is-
Julianne Moore said she's 44 at one point.
Exactly. So the weird
Oh,
thing
yeah,
about
she does,
the
yeah.
weird thing about movies is that when I watch this movie, I find myself not identifying with Gosling or Carell, which I'm probably Carell's age or close to it in the movie now. But I was like, I
You
was
identify
really
with the
identified
kid?
with the kid. Yeah, exactly. Like it's funny how we like frame ourselves in when we watch these kind of things because, like you said, like they seem like parents. Like Steve Carell and Julianne Moore seem like parents in this movie.
We're not
But
parents.
But
We're
yeah,
boring.
we've got like teenage kids and shit. It's so weird to think about. When you said that, I was like, oh my God, like this movie came out 10 years ago. Like we're the same age as they were in this. You know what I mean? It's like we're like midlife crisising right now.
Yeah, we're hard. This podcast is probably
Podcast
just
is a
one big
whole
midlife
manifestation.
crisis.
When Nate drives off to go beat some dude's ass, like his daughter can be like following him in the car. Like,
Is that what we've done here? Instead of like yellow Lamborghinis, we're doing a podcast.
We bought a yellow podcast.
We're peaceful.
All right,
this
so
podcast is super hot.
we're gonna jump into our first.
Tinted windows and everything.
We're gonna jump into our first category here, and we will continue. All these topics will be on the table. So.
Bev's Video Kingdom is brought to you by Skinny Dick Straws. Your drink of choice can say a lot about you. Vodka soda, you're sophisticated, no nonsense. Strawberry daiquiri, you're sweet and adventurous. Scotch neat, wipe down your beard, you manly beast. Pappies and Diet Coke, wait, what the fuck? Aqua Velva, that'll be a sad and lonely drive home. No matter what you're drinking, we can change the way you look doing it. Skinny Dick Straws come in 3 different sizes and shapes. Baby Wiener, Regular Richard, and Girthy Gary. So next time you're worried about what to drink, your drink says about you, grab a Skinny Dick Straw, and you can walk away secure in the fact that no one cares what you're drinking.
Baby wiener.
Dude, I drink Pappy and
Pappies and diet. Pappies and diet. Love it.
We're going to have some drinks with the directors. And I want to know, first off, so we're drinking with Glenn Ficarra and John Rickwa. I probably butchered those.
Second movie in a row with duo directors.
Yeah,
third movie in a row duo directors.
They seem to direct together a lot, but they've not done a ton of stuff.
That's what I was going to say. Can we hit what they've done? What are their highlights?
So I'd say the This Is Us. They've done a fair bit of that TV show, and they've done one called Whiskey Tango Foxtrot with Tina Fey.
Heard of it? Haven't watched
But
it.
not a like
the Wilco album?
Yeah, there's not a lot of stuff. So this isn't. They're not household names. Let's put it that way.
Can I just say that This Is Us is just the most dog shit TV show that
I've never seen it.
That millions of people watch.
oh my god, you guys, if you haven't watched it, please,
I have.
please, if you feel bad for yourself, watch that show and you'll feel worse. And I like feeling bad. That shit was fucking terrible.
All right. Well, we'll stay. Well, that's an endorsement for all you Bev's listeners. All right. So, so we're sitting down for drinks with them. The first question on the table is, what are we drinking? What are you drinking, Zach?
I am drinking the same thing that I'm always drinking. Whatever Nate has in the keg. Me and Nick are gonna chink our glasses.
Hazy baby.
We got that hazy baby. You know,
From Blaker Brewing. Yeah?
the point of drinking with the director in the beginning was like, we're going to talk about all this cool stuff that we drink. And then eventually Nate gets a keg of like delicious beer. And week after week, we're like,
we gotta drink
we're
it.
drinking the delicious beer that's in the keg that costs $0 or it costs us $0.
All right, so Blaker Brewing's a local brewery, and Hazy Baby's one of their good ones.
It's very good. I'm going to actually have to move off of it because we got a long evening ahead of us. And it is, it's got me, got my brain a little hazy.
Brad, what do you got?
You know, last week we had the Strange Brew podcast. We had Walter Ramirez from Last Call Brewing, and I still had some leftover beer, so I decided to drink. I'm drinking the Two Hop and to Hold. It's the
Nice, the wedding beer.
the lager that they created for their wedding. We toasted that last week, and I'm still drinking on that. So I've got some of that in my cup.
And word on the street from that pod is that there's going to be a Bev's Video Kingdom IPA.
All over the street. It's
BVK
fucking-
IPA.
BVK
It's
IPA.
I mean, if any of you
Coming.
fans out there want to make
Last Call Brewing.
a pilgrimage, when we find out if that actually goes down and we have a beer, you know what? You're welcome to come out and hang out with us, have some beers and drink. And
Beer launch party at Last Call's Tap Room.
we will definitely keep y'all up to date on those deets for sure, because
I'm gonna jam Walter up to let Scotch Beck play a set during our fucking show.
we-
Or Zach
definitely gonna make that
Zach
happen.
Washburn to play.
How
a set.
about,
might know.
hey,
I
how
might
about
know.
Scotch Beck and Zach Washburn?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
Zach.
was
about-
actually
how
we're gonna
about-
do a duet.
How about Nate on the guitar?
I'm down for all of us.
I
Trio.
might play a wagon wheel.
You're not
Yeah,
down
I
for
might
me
do
on the
wagon
guitar.
wheel.
Nick knows the song that Will Ferrell
Maybe the
learns.
Fisher Price ukulele.
I'll be heckling in the corner while I'm drinking my beers.
I'll be with Brad heckling.
Nick, you're drinking the Hazy Baby.
Hazy
too.
Baby with,
All right.
with Zach.
And I'm drinking my standard diet Pepsi with I believe I mixed in the Bullet today.
Ooh,
Ooh.
And I might have put grenadine in
Spiked.
it, or I might have put a lime in it. I don't remember at this point.
it just I
I can see some limes in your glass. So I think
It
you
looks
put some
also
limes.
pink as well.
I always know that it's going to be a good night when Nate's drinking liquor because a lot of times he's just drinking
straight DP.
straight diet Pepsi, and when he's mixing the liquor in there, we know that
Things are gonna
shit's
go-
going off
Hey,
the walls.
You guys are getting a Saturday pod. Usually we're recording these weekdays. And, you
true.
know, I will say one of our last pods we did, we got home so late. I was just the next day I was a mess. I was wrecked at work.
The fun thing about this podcast is that when we started it, the episodes were like 2 hours and 15 minutes, and we were like, we need to split these into two because these are too long for people to listen to. So we started splitting them into 2 episodes, and we released one on Tuesday, one on Thursday, and slowly but surely every episode has been creeping and creeping and creeping. We're like at an hour 45 per episode now. We're like,
No, we're not getting that high.
but we're
trying
into
to-
Joe
we'll cut
Rogan
back.
territory here.
I know. Fucking
All
Joe
right,
Rogan.
so we're drinking with the director. I want to know, what do you guys want to? What do you want to talk about? What do you want to ask these guys? What do you want to ask the room when we're drinking with the director about Crazy Stupid Love?
I've got one right off the bat, and it's not enough to bother me, but it's just one of those things. What the fuck does Ryan Gosling do for a living? Does it even matter? I mean, he says his dad was rich, his dad worked hard, and then he's just got this pimp ass apartment. He's buying all the good shit. He's got Pappy's like 20th anniversary and like in his fucking liquor cabinet that he's pouring.
I have to assume that with all of the sit-ups, healthy eating, STI tests, and all the other things that he has to do throughout the day, and then boning like multiple women per night, he's got a pretty full schedule.
Yeah, I'd say he's probably a
Trust fund, baby.
100%. He says, my dad left me all this money. That's why I have all these things. Yeah.
Does he? Oh, he says his dad left him
yeah.
much. Okay, so he's trust fund.
doesn't work.
That's
He says that his mom, he has, it's actually a really great scene with him and Emma Stone. He talks about his mom, how his mom was super vain and super beautiful, and his dad was super sweet, but his dad died really early, and he was a very successful guy that left him a bunch of money. And I feel like his days are full, dude. I mean, if you're getting that shredded, we'll talk about it later. I got plenty of stuff to say.
We can talk about it now with the director. I mean, these thoughts are what
I've got. It's my shag. I don't want to step.
I'll just say, taking the. It's always very difficult for me to get into the enjoyment of the trust fund kid as like the character that you're supposed to root for. Like it's very difficult for me to be like, oh yeah, go trust fund kid. Like I don't know.
Don't be a trust fundist.
He's winning the whole movie.
I'm very
though.
trust fundist.
I don't know if you're supposed to root for Gosling because he's never losing in the entire movie. I mean, the only shitty thing that happens to him is he gets in a fight with his like older bro buddy.
So let me tell you. Let me tell you when you want to. Let me tell you the moment that you really root for Gosling more than any other one. So and this reminded me a little bit of like, you know, some of we've talked about this in the pod before, but like when even though there's this awkwardness, and for me the best scene in the whole movie is when they all show up at the house, right? Which is, I think that should have been the climax, and they should have dumped the scene that Brad, you know, complained about, the graduation thing.
Agreed.
But so they're having this awkwardness, and like, you know, and then all of a sudden Lindhagen shows up, and he's like, "Oh, you're David Lindhagen." And before Cal can be there, he takes his ring off and just fucking punches it. He's so pissed because he's hurt his friend. And I'm like, okay, that's the moment where I'm like, he sees red and he forgets anything else that's going on. And he's like, dude, you wronged my buddy and you're here. I'm going to fucking knock you out. And that for me was like a moment where I'm like, yeah, I got some buddies, and 3 of them are sitting in this room that are like, if I had a David Lindhagen and they saw him, it wouldn't even matter if we were in an argument. They'd be like, oh, it's go time. So for me, that was the moment where
I wouldn't even take my ring off, bro.
What's the ring coming
I'd
off?
ask for everyone else's rings.
all,
Hey,
rings,
let me get your rings, Joe.
I'd do that.
about to rush this dude.
Scared woman in a parking garage thing where I put my keys through my knuckles. Fucking just do a bum rush.
Wolverine style, garage style.
There's an infamous basketball game story where Nikki and I came off the bench in a men's league game because we thought somebody had elbowed our friend Justin, and we may or may not have threatened to kill him.
We have to always mention that it was inside of a church.
It was a church league. It was a church league.
If you're a loyal BVK listener, you know. I mean, 2 weeks ago that might have come up.
That was like a month ago, Brad.
All right, what else?
We only have
Something
so
like
many
that.
What
stories.
else do you guys
That's
want to
true.
know? What else do you guys want to know?
So my thing that I want to know from these guys is, I got a couple of questions, but the first one is one that I just thought of when you said that they haven't really done anything else. It's like, this movie was a home run to me.
Yeah,
when we
how
saw it
have
the
they
first
not
time. Yeah,
parlayed
what
it
the
into
fuck,
more
Hollywood?
It's got to be writers though, more than director. I mean, it's
You gave
okay
the-
directed, but the writing is what
You gave the guy from Link 80 after one movie, you're giving him the new Scream, and these fucking guys can't get anything.
But they were a crew. They had their writing crew, and they're all homies like together. Like these guys are just directors unless they're writing, unless they wrote it again. I didn't check on that shit.
They didn't write it together.
I'm throwing these guys some movies. I mean, this movie, I mean, it's not one of the greatest movies of all time by any means, but man, it's a fun, really good movie. Like, it comes together. It's
The
well
script
put together.
is funny as shit.
Yeah, dude. And the actors. I mean, one of the reasons this movie kills it is because it's got a murderer's row of a cast.
Well, Brad, you'll be glad to know that the writer for this was also the writer for Cars.
Cars 1 or Cars 3?
Cars 1 and 2. Brad likes 2 better than most people.
2 is dog shit.
So there you go, Brad. This is why you like
Wait,
it.
what's the dude's name?
It is Dan Fogelman.
Oh, he wrote a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, he's written some stuff. Also, a lot of This Is Us, Zach, so don't get too high on him.
Well, no, I mean, if he wrote any of This Is Us, then I'm out.
You're out.
Worst show ever. All right, so and the only reason I say this is because I wasted like a season and a half of my life watching this fucking show, and it's just so bad. And I love Milo Vignamintia. I'm pretty sure that's how you say his name. What do you think, Nick? What are we asking these guys?
Is the bar in the mall? Because fucking Emma Stone walks from El Torito, which
That's
is
a great point.
in the mall, and it does not show how long she walks. Like, she's walking in the rain I'm gonna hope
you think she just,
that
like-
it's not in the mall. But if that shit's in the mall, what does that make Gosling getting fucking dressed up every night in a different
And goes to
suit
the mall bar.
to the mall bar?
It's like they cruise
It
past
can't be.
Sears.
It can't
They
be.
go,
but it's close.
That would make
It's
sense
close.
why Carell's there.
It's
sneaks
close
through the
because the
J-
El Torito's mall. I mean, she's at the mall at the El Torito,
goes to the J.C. Penney's entrance to make it a
right?
shortcut.
Or shortcuts through Macy's shoe department. I don't know.
In my recollection, do they serve alcohol in mall restaurants? I don't think so.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like Sbarro.
Maybe in
You can get
Pasadena.
a-
Maybe in
yeah, buddy.
Pasadena.
Oh, yeah.
What- I'm guessing it's in Pasadena. It looks like like that. It's not a big city, but it's enough to you can see like
Are we
the.
saying Pasadena's not a big city right now?
It's not.
I don't mean. I just mean like it's not the San
it's not
Francisco.
like LA.
It's not the.
Yeah, I got you.
Because I had that. Because I was talking to my wife about that, and you're not seeing any big city. Because we were talking about the bar itself, and like all of these guys and businessmen. That like you think financial district, you think San Francisco, you think New York financial district. Guys going in after hours with their suits. Because talking about Gosling's get-ups every night at the bar, and like he doesn't stand out in that bar, but they're also not in those like.
That's why he slays,
Cities.
bro, because he's in fucking Applebee's next to the fucking Sears.
So you're saying,
Right, but I'm saying that says everything about like him opening up the movie, like this dude that you're, kind of getting behind.
So you're saying that every time he's like, "You want to get out of here?" He's like, "They're like, great." He's like, "Okay, cool. I got to stop by Wilson's Leather on the way out though."
What is Wilson's leather?
You want to go play some skee ball?
Is Cinnabon open? Like, unless you want some dessert.
I gotta go to Foot Locker.
I gotta fuck this guy. He bought me an Auntie Anne's pretzel on the way home.
That's Sbarro pizza. I gotta get a slice.
Light salt, bitch.
Oh,
So, anyways, that because they let you know they're close to a mall. There's a mall in the region.
Macy's.
So I want to know
right.
where you filmed it. Is that the mall?
what do you want to know, Brad?
Oh, I already asked. I mean, I said the whole.
He asked him.
Oh yeah, okay. So here I'm bored with the directors. I want to know some things from you guys.
Oh yeah. What do you got?
I want to know. I want to get back to my opening comment, which is that one of the things I really love about this movie is all the different weird dynamics, right? And there are two like tiers of people having major crushes on people that are inappropriately older. I'm not talking like 2 years. I'm not talking like 3 years. I'm talking like anywhere from 4 or 5 years to like 20 years older.
Oh yeah.
So I want to know, do you guys, you don't have to give me names, but like describe the relationship of the first like inappropriately older woman or girl that you had a crush on. Anyone have a good one?
Oh God, I have a great one that I'm not going to say because it'll be very obvious who it is to the people that listen to this podcast and know who it is.
I've got one, and it was actually a girl that was in our class, her older sister, and like she had an older sister that was in my brother's class who was 4 years older than me, and then had an older sister who was like probably maybe 2 years older than that, so she's probably about 6 years older. And I had a thing for her, and it was like
So she's like 6-8 years older.
6 to 8 years older, and yeah, I think I might have maybe drawn a picture for her and like had a little crush going on.
You drew her a picture.
So how old are we talking here?
Were you like,
How old
this
was
is
I?
us?
Yeah, how old were you?
I was probably like, I don't know, 11, 12, something like
okay.
that.
God,
so,
my
she,
son's
so
age.
she would have been like just out of high school.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about, and I remember stories about like this girl walking around in a robe when we had other friends over at the house around this time, letting the robe gape a little bit.
Hey.
And oh my goodness. What do you got one, Nikki?
Probably like in that 9 to 10-year-old range. Grew up like around my extended family,
Okay.
who were maybe 4 to 5 years older than me. Also went, to the same, school, and
And it was
a
like
lot-
one of your cousins.
my cousins.
Like,
Jesus, I want to narrow it down.
Fine. We're all friends here.
Yeah, no. No, yes, we
anymore.
are. We are
Not
all
anymore.
friends. We are all friends here. But yeah, no, it's similar to Brad. It's similar to Brad as far as, I mean, it's pretty young stuff, and it's like pretty innocent, like crush stuff. As far as on girls coming over, like they're like like sleepovers, things like that, and Super Mario Brothers is like rolling, and late nights and crushes happen.
Oh,
Wow.
dude.
Super Mario's on, and it's all bets are off.
One of my buddy's older sister, who was like, so Nate and Brad are 4 years older than me.
Yeah.
So one of my buddy's older sisters who was in your guys' grade, and I remember going to his house and sleeping on the floor, and her room had a wall connecting, And then I would just lay on the floor spending the night at his house, and I would think like I should get up and like walk into there and pretend like I don't know where I'm going. And just like bust. Yeah, and just like stumble into her room and just like hopefully she's like, you know, just like waiting for me, like super excited that I'm there, or just changing or something.
So Brad and I both know who you're talking about here, and we both had crushes on her too, so it wasn't just you.
Oh yeah,
Scotty Beck. Oh yeah. Oh man,
we're gonna make him hella creepy. He's like, we're talking about like probably underage girls. Like, oh yeah. Oh, see, Scott, you shouldn't have recorded that shit for us. We're gonna fuck around with it.
So I have one, and this is gonna be really kind of amorphous. Like I can't. It's almost like fuzzy. Like almost it didn't happen. I would say that I had a very like, we'll say sexual instinct at a pretty young age.
Carnal.
How many percent was it?
I would say that this was a 1,000. I was 1,000%. No, so I remember my grandma and grandpa taking me to church.
Where are we going? Okay, all right.
Taking me to church.
And this was like I mean, I definitely wasn't 5. I might have been 4 or 3.
Oh damn. Take me to church.
And this was the Methodist church in Modesto. And I still remember this woman named, she might have been, she was probably a teenager. She could have been like 14 or she could have been like 25.
She's now 55, so we need her full name. She's going to be
25.
so excited when she hears this.
I don't even remember. Let's go with like Katie. I think that's close enough.
All right. Sounds hot.
And like, I remember just like, I was so excited to go to church. And like, I was like 3 or 4, and I was like, I don't give a fuck about anything else. If I can see Katie. And I think she was pretty built. And I was like 4, and I noticed. And this is probably
because you were hungry, or
dude, I'm telling you, I don't know what's wrong with me, but that probably tells me if I were to spend the time in therapy, this would probably
it would go back to the Methodist church in Modesto with Katie.
Yeah, man. And I'm no joke. She might have been 10 years older than me when I was 4, and she might have been like 20 years old. So that's my.
So I have another very quick one that I just told my parents about recently. So my sister and I are 3 years apart. We're young. I don't know. Before junior high, we had my dad's friend, his daughter, who was like, she was either going to UCLA or hadn't gone to UCLA yet, and was like very beautiful, and she was our babysitter. And this chick was like, my parents left, and she was like, all right, why don't you guys get dressed? We're going to go somewhere. And we were like, okay.
Like Adventures in Babysitting, just unfold.
We get in the car, we go to
her boyfriend's house?
Dude, no, like a bar, like a legit, and I'm not bullshitting you guys, like a legit bar-ish college type scene. And she parks the car and is just like, hey, I've got to go in, and I've got some like important stuff that I've got to do. And she goes in. Me and my sister sat in the car for I don't remember how long. She eventually came back out at some point, got in the car. We drove back home. And, when my parents came home, we were in bed. She put us to bed.
But she did meth after that.
And no, I think she like grew up to be successful and beautiful. But at the time, I just remember thinking like, and it was like there was a very serious discussion of like, I don't want your parents to be upset that I took you guys out of the house. So like, please don't say anything. And I was like, okay, no problem. You know what I mean? Yeah, dude, that was a legit. And I told my dad about that.
This is after we're off air.
Oh man.
So here's another one that I want to sort of jump to. So this is a good one because we have somebody that really can weigh in on this. So she has this Conan O'Brien crush, which I love that her friend kind of clowns her about. And Zach and I have had this conversation a few times, and he kind of revealed this, and it totally makes sense. But the funny factor in the sexiness and like what chicks are into, it can't be underestimated. Zach pointed out to me that like there's been a number of situations where dudes get really pissed because Zach's a funny guy. Funny in real life, funny on the pod, funny in real life.
I don't think it's that their ladies necessarily found me sexy, but I've had numerous boyfriends get upset at me because I made their girlfriend laugh.
Yes.
And it's not even like I was trying to be like forward or hit on them or anything. I'm just
funny.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be funny, which is my main goal at all times. and people get real upset about that. They do not like seeing their girlfriend laugh at somebody else's jokes, which I think is pretty universal.
That's why Carrot Top had to get ripped, because he was so funny that all these boyfriends get pissed off. So he's like, fuck, I better get jacked if I'm going to have to fight all these dudes.
Problem with Carrot Top, he's got to carry around that big suitcase all the time in order to be funny. He's like, all right, hang on, let me get some shit out.
Because it's not, the muscles aren't enough. There's weapons in there. There's fucking an arsenal.
So I love that one. So there's what's your favorite stuff here? Because I there's a bunch of stuff that I like, really like. It's a movie full of some fun little gems for me. Like, so one that I love, for example, is I love that he does the Karate Kid like bit where he's like, you know, what do I always do? And he runs through him, and it's kind of like, you Miyagi'd me. And I love that. It's one of those things where like it could have been it could have felt like a forced parallel, but it works perfectly, right? Like
the nose honk was what made it for me. When he did the nose honk, like he's like honk, I was like, okay, there you go.
Oh yeah, I mean, so I love that part of it. The other thing that I really like is, and there's not enough of this for me, and we'll get maybe to this next week or in the next pod when we get our wives on, you'll understand a little more. But I don't. There's not enough movies that aren't about women being sort of crude or like explicitly sexual or kind of like have good banter. Like Bridesmaids does this. There are movies that are dedicated to it, but there's not enough of those characters woven into other kinds of movies. And this one does that well. So her friend,
women who are like real women,
like real fucking women.
The Asian best friend is awesome. I don't know her name, but she is great throughout the movie.
I mean, I say this with the utmost respect that our wives are fucking foul, crude, just hilarious women. Like all four.
You're setting them up for failure on that.
It's not
or success. It just depends.
If he's setting them up to be foul and crude, I think they're going to be okay.
And they're funny, and they are not shy, and like this is like this remind. I guess like for me,
the bullshit. They're going to see through the Josh Groban and everybody.
Absolutely, yeah. Every one of our wives would be like, dude, you got to lose that.
No. Is Josh Groban like? When I read that Josh Groban was that guy who I fucking hate. He's great and makes me hate him. And that's why he's great is because I hate him so much. But he's a singer. He's like the.
Oh, he's dude, he's an amazing
crooner. He's incredible.
I know that. So when I read,
you don't know who Josh Groban is? Like
I have no idea.
I could name a song by him. I knew he was popular, but I could not.
But when I read the IMDb, I was like, Josh Groban. I was like, that sounds like somebody. And then I was like, I think he's a singer, so you're confirming that.
He's got an amazing voice, yeah.
Like, but he's not. But
he's such a good actor at being douchey.
He's not super mainstream.
He's not like any other like movies or acting.
He does.
He does.
My wife said he was in Glee, and actually he played himself, but he was like a dickish version of himself, which was like very funny.
He was a really funny character in the Office, like late in one of the seasons. He's great in that. Yeah, he has some funny roles. He's actually a really good. Wasn't he? Oh, he's in Ally McBeal years ago. He has like a stint where he's in Ally McBeal, and it's funny.
I'll say that whole little the stereotypical lawyers like, and then the El Torito. It didn't make sense unless they were doing it like ironically. Like a bunch of lawyers like that are not going to fucking El Torito.
Well, that's the point. I think they were just showing how douchey Groban was, right?
I guess
that's 100%.
He's like, we're coming here again, and it's gonna be a special night.
Yeah.
So the great lines from the friend, you should be studying the ceiling of his bedroom. And then she gets cut off before the last word, but she's saying, you should be studying the gentle curve of his cock. So funny, dude. Great lines. And for me, right, they were very real. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, that's exactly what her like sort of sassy friend would say.
Her drunk best friend would say.
And then Emma Stone, when she first goes to his house or his apartment, and she's breaking down like the PG-13 version. This is what would happen, and then I want the R version. Like just kind of like it was a little bit tongue in cheek of the whole like how movies like that.
100%.
Yeah,
where she was like, "You're gonna
putting him into that thing." So it was fun. Like they kind of played on some of those tropes from some of the early romantic comedies.
I love the first time Gosling gets where you know that Steve Carell, he's done up, he's decked out, he's dapper, he's ready to mingle with Marissa Tomei. And he sends him out just like, all right, you can get out of here now. Like
Oh,
he
yeah,
just
yeah.
like he just like puts like gossip.
that's one way.
And he's
Well,
like, that's one way to treat people.
He goes, "This is Jacob. He was just leaving."
Yes,
Yeah.
it's just amazing.
That
and
was
the way
the
that Gosling
the
handles it.
Mikeys all grown up from Swingers. That was like that.
So good.
We've
Yeah.
gotten this far without talking about Marissa Tomei's character in this movie, which I think is
man.
just so funny, and just so in love with him after one evening, and then so just disgruntled and pissed about
crazy.
the fact that he never called her.
The only redeeming scene of the graduation scene is her little drive-by like flip off. Where she like throws the finger up. She kind of just waves it in front of him.
So here's one bit of credit I'll throw the directors or the writer, whoever it is. One of the things I love about movies is when they pick names that like lead you to feel certain ways about characters in a subtle way.
Like Lindhagen.
Lindhagen is like, and apologies to all the real people named with the last name Lindhagen out there. You're probably lovely people, but that's a fucking terrible name. And it's like one of those names where you're like, it's built to hate that dude. And like, I love it. That's
it takes effort. It
You're
takes
like,
effort to.
Lindhagen.
I almost
Like,
think they
you gotta
picked it
kinda-
because it sounds funny in Steve Carell's mouth when he says it. David Lindhagen, and he's just like so upset about it.
Maybe, but it also just like hits you in a way that where you like we talk about you guys all talk about Miles Teller's punchable face. Well, that's a punchable name, right there.
My wife's takeaway from the movie, because she watched it twice. She watched it a couple days ago, and then she watched it last night with me. And she goes, "My favorite scene is when he's at the bar going, I've been cuckolded.
You know what a cuckold is? I'm a cuckold.
David Lindhagen has cuckolded me."
Fancy face.
Oh man,
When he's
Oh yeah,
under
that's a
his
great
breath,
one.
or he's like, okay, fancy face. Bye, fancy face.
I mean that name's very much like Lumberg in Office Space.
Lumberg.
I mean,
Oh, yes.
Lumberg was a name that you're just
great
fuck
call.
that name. Like Lumberg just sounds like I hate that dude already.
Lumberg. Oh, just such that. Yeah, if you haven't listened to the Office Space,
Lumberg
pod,
fucked her.
There's a lot of Lumberg talk.
I mean, come on, Lumberg.
I mean,
the fact there was two guys named Lumberg in the
Lindhagen.
same like
In that
area.
tiny ass
that's the part
town.
we didn't talk about. How is there two Lumbergs?
There's for sure a barbecue where two guys are talking, and they're like, "Well, Lindhagen fucked her." You know what I mean?
Could have been brothers.
Oh man, I mean, so the other question I wanted to ask you guys really quickly is, have you guys ever been at a bar with a friend that's like early Cal, that's just like the sad sack and like trying to talk to women, but it's just so depressing?
I will say, and this isn't like necessarily the same thing, but I know at my rehearsal dinner, we did it at a Japanese place, a teppanyaki spot, and there was karaoke there. And my cousin who had just turned 21, he was there, and he was trying to kind of like mix it up, and then I think he might have slapped a waitress on the ass. And
Oh
like,
no,
it was one of those things where we kind of had to escort him out, and
that's assault, brother.
it wasn't going well, but he was kind of like mixing it up, and we are just like, yeah,
You just feel pain.
we need to get you out of here.
I get-
this is not going to end well for you.
God, I just realized who it was. Oh my god.
I love Jacob's line where he's like, I don't know if I should help you or euthanize you. There's like a perfect like. All right, so are you anything else for the director before we move on? Because I'm ready to hear I want to hear what you want to shag. I want to hear what you want to snag, and I want to hear what you want to body bag. Anyone else got director questions? All right,
I do not.
Get
all
these
right.
guys out of here.
Get another movie, guys. This was a good one.
Yeah, right.
no more. This is us.
I mean, it's making you shit tons of money.
Yeah,
You've got
they're probably
bags
making-
of money in your house now,
Yeah.
but
Stop selling out.
Fucking free Milo Ventimiglia. Get this shit canceled. I feel like they could do anything. They'll never cancel that show because it's absolute dog shit and it's still getting great ratings. Sorry, guys. I'm going to get canceled for that.
This episode of Bez Video Kingdom is brought to you by Velcro wallets. The one that got away. You know, the condom that fell out of your leather wallet from Macy's. You wouldn't have lost that condom if you had a Velcro wallet, and you would be banging right now. Or would you have? Is it time to pick up the tab on a night out with the boys? Well, announce your presence with authority and let everyone know you're ready to spend your motherfucking money and rip your Velcro wallet. Movie night, 409 disinfectant. Beer run, leaf blower. Samurai sword. Adult formula Desitin. Velcro wallets. Let everyone know you're about to spend your motherfucking money.
Dude, one of my favorite wallets of all time was a Velcro wallet.
Mine too. I had one.
Mitch Hedberg has the best one. He's like, it's like the sound of my addiction when he's at a casino with the Velcro wallet.
I just recently got rid of my Velcro wallet as my wife told me that I could not have it anymore. It was like a Volcom Velcro wallet. It was so sexy.
I passed on to my son. All right, we're shagging. And when we shag things, we take things from the movie that we want them. We want them bad. We want them fast. We want them hard. But we don't necessarily want to keep them forever. We like it, and we like it intensely. Nick, what do you want to shag?
Emma Stone's friend.
Oh,
that's a great pick.
She is just a little. She's a little nug throughout the movie. Very, very, small amount of lines, but she just drives those scenes, and she is perfect. She's funny as hell, and
I love how great she is when like she's just staring at Gosling and like I love you
immediately.
But what's great about it is like you almost like she's kind of in on it. Like she's not a total puppy dog. She knows she's being kind of like bamboozled, and she's in. She loves it.
Yeah.
I was a little bit legit disrespected that like he comes over there and immediately turns to Emma Stone. I think like the Asian girl was kind of a little bit.
Well, then he acknowledges, and your beautiful friend here, like,
yeah,
and,
it's a great.
And he
line.
says, he's like,
you.
and you were definitely beautiful.
This is a lot.
I'm just saying if I'm in that spot and I got to choose, I'm like, I don't know.
You might take the friend. I disagree, but I agree that it's a great pick, and I like her a lot.
Yeah, that's my pick.
Zachy.
So, if I'm shagging from this movie, it is most definitely the thing that and it's not that I love it, it's just that I want it for myself. And that is fucking Gosling with his 42 pack. And then I'm not shagging Gosling in his 42 pack. What I'm shagging is the fact that he literally does nothing throughout the entire movie but eat food and drink liquor and party. And he still is fucking so cut. Like he must burn so many calories fucking these chicks every night.
That's what I'm thinking.
He's eating Sbarros. He's eating like chicken wings. He's got like a burrito at one point.
He's like Brad Pitt in Ocean's 11.
Throughout
he calls his shot though.
Movie.
He says, "I'm a savage in the sack." So
I believe the quote was, "I'm a tomcat in the sack," which I intend fully to steal.
But dude, like, I've been trying to get abs since like 4th grade, dude, and it still hasn't happened yet.
You just thousands of
I can
push-ups,
starve
thousands
myself.
of sit-ups.
No, it's like I haven't done any of the sit-ups or workouts or diets in order to get there. But I'm saying like I've been doing
everything else.
I've been doing all the things that Gosling is doing here. Like I freaking eat so much food. I like drink so much all the time, and like it just doesn't happen for me.
Spontaneously combusted.
Zach's a tomcat in the sack.
Zach is a tomcat in the
and
sack.
I just want to shag like eating and drinking whatever you want and still having chiseled abs.
That's good stuff.
Liar.
All right, so I'm shagging the twist you don't see coming. I will say when I watch a movie and if I start to like not like it, I start to get super critical. I immediately like it turns on where I'm just like, okay, start picking shit apart. I'm like, okay, this is why I don't like this. This is why
that can hit you pretty quick, Brad. I feel like.
Yeah.
I mean, I
for
feel
sure.
like we're all the same though.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying anytime if you're watching a movie you don't really like, you're gonna start picking it apart. So I was kind of getting to that point. And then all of a sudden, we figure out that Nana is Hannah Banana. And I was like, oh, shit. Okay. And I legit was smiling. I was like, okay, there. I was wondering how this movie was going to start tying shit together because I was like, these are so random, like little subplots. Like, this has to come together some way. And I'm pissed at myself for not realizing that might happen because usually I'm trying to like figure it out. I'm like, I'm going to be the one that predicts this is going to be some predictable shit. And I didn't think about that. And so when she comes out and she shows up in the backyard, I was like, oh, fuck. Okay, here we go. This is fun.
So my thought is, even if that doesn't happen, do you agree? I mean, I agree. That's a great part of this movie and the great part of the writing of it. But even if that doesn't happen, is it almost like it's the same movie? Like it's an unnecessary twist almost.
No,
I don't like the movie without that twist.
You think it needed to get tied together like this?
Yeah, I needed that.
All right.
And this was my, I'll get back to it because I might.
But Zach, that's your preference. That's your preference, because you like the movies that aren't wrapped up.
It's true.
It's true.
You
leave it more open ended. Let you put the pieces together. Like that's
you need material to lay awake at night and not sleep because you can't turn your brain off, and that's what
because you don't have a TV show or a movie movie on to go to sleep to. That's what your problem is.
Well, Nate, we mentioned it earlier, like we were talking off the air when you were saying like the fact that there's kind of two twists, the fact that the teacher's the coincidence.
Yeah, and I'm going to get to that
Okay,
one in my body bag. Yeah,
I'll let you get
so
into
my
that.
shag is, and I love, maybe I'm in the more in this, but I love the Cal and Jacob relationship and the mentorship especially. I just find that so fun. Like that for me, it was like a really, it wasn't the main thing in the movie for me, and it's not. So that's why it's not my snag. But it was so fun, and I like it. And every time it comes back, I'm excited for that little like kind of montage section of the movie because I feel like it's gonna like take me to that sort of just like I like the relationship developing. I like the fun of it. I like them becoming friends. I like the mentorship. I like all the face slapping.
It's
all
such
good.
a movie thing. Like, why would this guy take the time to mentor him for months potentially?
He knew he had a hot daughter.
Yeah.
He did not. And so that was one of the questions I had, but it's like I don't need the answer.
Yeah,
It's a movie.
You just feel
It's
good
a movie
about it.
element. Yeah, I'm down. So.
All right, so Brad, what do you? Now we're gonna snag something. We're gonna take it home. We're gonna cuddle it, and we're gonna want to hold on to it.
So Steve Carell's in this movie, and I've liked Steve Carell in a lot of roles, but you know what? My snag for this movie is Brick Tamland. Because I see Steve Carell and immediately, I don't care what he's in, it just immediately I start thinking of Brick Tamland.
Really? Is that
your
I start
alternate
drifting off
Hank?
and I'm like, I just love
Jesus.
Brick. I love Brick as a character in so many ways that anytime I see Steve Carell now, I just immediately start thinking of Brick.
Our Anchorman pod wasn't enough for Brad. So
No,
he needed to
100%
bring
not.
more Brick talk. into
Brad's
this.
alternate
No,
ending
my
is that
snag
Brick is the character of Steve Carell's character.
It's the full story arc.
Yes, this is Brick later on in life. He changed his name to Cal. But no, yeah, that's the thing is like I see Steve Carell, I immediately think of Brick. And Anchorman, my snag, I'm pretty sure was Brick Tamland. So I can't do it enough. If we do another movie with Steve Carell in it, I'll probably take Brick Tamland again.
So I would usually snag from a movie like this the twist, but like I said, I think the twist is sort of unnecessary, although I do like it. But what I'm going to go with for my snag here is going to be the immediate, like the directors decided to go with the immediate haymaker right off the bat. They scan up, they're like, what do you think we should order? Let's say it on 3. 1, 2, 3. He says creme brulee. She says, I want a divorce. And you need no other setup in the movie. You're immediately into it. There doesn't have to be any like weird dialogue to tell you what's happening in their relationship. It's right off the bat.
Well, and then the car scene is like a great follow on.
That's
right?
what
He jumps out. She tells him she's mad that he doesn't say anything. She tells
admits
him that
the-
she's banging
yes.
David Lindhagen, and then he jumps out of the car. And then like there's no slow roll or awkwardness where it's like, oh, you're gonna tell the kids. He walks in and just blurts it out in the sun here. He's just like they take away a lot of that like what would be the discomfort of the situation and the awkwardness of like trying to get through the plot and just like blow it right out, and then they set you up to okay, now
Exactly.
what's
And then
gonna
you're on a ride.
Let me say one thing though. So he blurts it out in front of the babysitter and everything. Of course, that sets up the babysitter's arc as well. The one thing I didn't like though is when the pictures, when the mom, when Beth Littleford found the pictures, and she goes down to talk to the dad while the girl and her
He's sitting right there doing
sibling
homework.
is sitting there. I was like, I don't think it goes down that way. I don't think he just hands the I don't think she just hands the pictures to the dad and says, "Look at these."
And just as like indiscriminately, like, hey, I'm not going to tell you there are nude pictures of your daughter. I'm just going to blow that up
Yeah.
right in front of you.
while she's sitting
Check
right
out the
there.
nude picture of your teenage daughter.
So that little that was a little too upfront for me.
He also like shuffles through them just to check all of them out, which is weird. But
Super
it's like, how many poses
I mean,
did she
he is
what-
the Zodiac. He is the
I
Zodiac
was
killer.
just about to say, when you're the Zodiac killer, the wife should have known. She should have been like, "Fuck, dude, this guy's the Zodiac. I don't know if I should show him this. He's
Now,
gonna be upset."
that universe. I like the idea that
Connect those two.
connect that.
That's the
universe.
origin story. That's where it all went south.
All right, Nikki, what do you snagging?
The scene where all the main characters meet in the climax at the house. I thought that was great. That was a ton of fun. And when you saw that that's where it was headed, you're like, all right, bring bacon into this shit. Let's go. Bring the cops in. Bring
Where's my
bacon
boy
in.
Bacon?
You always could use more bacon in your life. And sure enough, they delivered. The cops came in, just said, keep it in the family. Gosling kind of chuckles to himself a little bit. And then Gosling taking off the ring and saying, oh, and this is where you fell in love with, Gosling all over again in his character. Like, oh, He's throwing down for his friend. Like,
that scene, and this is, I'll get to this in alternate endings, but like that scene for me was like such a great kind of maybe climax or pre-climax that like I just felt like we should have ended more quickly.
Well, and that they roll up and you're just like, you can't wait to hear Gosling and Carell's reactions to that.
And I've seen this movie, probably 5 or 6 times, and I still, when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, dude, here it comes!" Like I can't wait to see them look at each other.
Yeah, he's like, "No."
He goes, "No. I know too much."
And then Tracy Morgan,
Emma Stone's characters looking at each other like, "Wait, you guys know each other? You guys really know each other?" It's just so great.
Again, a little weird that the fact that they use that same thing with the teacher as well.
I know.
You know each other. Like it was
shit out of that.
Shit, I keep stepping on your body bag.
Why can't you just let me have my moment?
Hey, you know what?
Let me have my moment.
Go ahead and tell us what your snag is.
All right, so I'm gonna snag. Wait for it. Love. But I said it at the beginning. I love the complicated and different relationships. Everything from like, and it's almost like you could see it as different stages, right? Like
exactly,
you get this little kid like in his first real love, and then you get that teenager trying to figure out what love is, right? And then you get the kind of the next you get that 20s like I've banged some people. I've been in some relationships. Now I might move into something serious. I don't know what that is. And so,
or even Emma Stone's character, like, am I going to marry this dude? Am I not going to marry this?
I was talking about Emma Stone there, dude.
I think I'm a gossip.
I guess it really brings up what is love actually.
Do I throw up twice on a pot?
I mean, I'm saying that just because that's one of Nate's top 5 movies of all time.
And Love Actually's coming in our Christmas run.
Yeah,
and your wife loves it, and she's right. Okay.
We might be talking about that soon.
But I love, and then like, the difficulty of like, you've been married a while, you're trying to figure it out. You got, everybody has complicated marriage. I like the different layers of it here. That's what makes this film for me special. All right, we're body bagging. I want to know what you want to body bag, and I want you first, Zach.
So you just made me think of something that I want to body bag along with this, and that is the fact that we're supposed to believe that Emma Stone's character has fallen in love with this Josh Groban guy and is willing to marry him.
That was a really weird whole situation.
What, dude, my God.
But how many? I don't want to call anyone out. There's a friend of my wife that is married to a guy
Careful now.
I think of as being kind of like a Groban. And like
Groban-esque.
She's kind of an Emma Stone, and I'm like, but it's just like there's a point where you get to where you're like, it's safe. He's got a good job. I feel like that's out there, man. I feel like that.
No, I think it's definitely a real life situation that can happen, but
I mean, and not everybody has a beautiful voice like Groban.
I just didn't get what they were trying to do at the end when he's like, you know what? I think I need some more time. And she like gets angry with him. Because she's like, oh, you don't deserve me.
Well, she was mad because she was actually considering it, and she was like struggling with it, and she was like, obviously, I'm a catch. Like
she was justifying it
exactly, and she was like, well, he really loves me, and he wants to ask me to marry me, so maybe I'm going to ask him. Maybe I'll say yes. And she convinced herself that she was going to say yes, and then when he didn't even want to ask yet, she was like, you know what? Fuck this guy, which was warranted, I thought.
All right, Nikki, what do you?
No, I haven't even done my body bag yet. That was just a body bag I was thinking about.
But you didn't body bag.
He
Josh
brought
Groban?
2 today. He brought 2 bags. Look at this.
I did too.
My body bag for this one is going to be a small bag. All we got to fit into it is 2 white New Balances and some pleated khakis. Because, dude, and my wife turned to me.
The white on whites.
My wife turned to me like during some of his early outfits and was just like, "You see why I pick out your clothes for you? Do you see what's happening here? This shit is not sexy. It is not awesome." And so my body bag is they do a really good job of showing the uniform for the 40-something dad, and man, it's crazy how many people are still rocking it. Even dudes, I see dudes rocking the white New Balances with like the freaking super long cargo shorts, and they have like hot wives.
The Anchor Blues.
It's super weird, bro.
Are you telling me that I got to get rid of it?
I was gonna say, please don't talk about my fashion sense.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying, guys.
All right.
I think if I got divorced from my wife, she would just write his fashion.
You don't.
And the judge would be like, yeah, fuck. She gets custody of everything.
I'm just saying, guys, you're in your 40s, late 30s, 40s, 50s. You don't need to just completely give up on trying to look good completely. Come on, guys. Let's throw a tiny bit of effort in. You don't even have to be a good-looking guy to pick out a nice pair of shoes.
But
come on.
I mean, pleats, they look good. Nikki, what are you going to body bag?
They were flattering in the crotchal region. Okay, I got two. Quick one. Number one, they get home from the first date. She doesn't have fucking money to pay the babysitter.
Yeah.
She just got done telling her husband she's having an affair.
And she didn't plan ahead for
I
that.
don't have money to pay you, but...
Yeah.
Nobody wants that slutty money.
I don't want your slut money.
I don't want you slutting me. That's so funny. That's
That
such a great
is
line.
whack as shit. That's number one.
She's like,
Carell's friend icing him.
Oh, man.
You can get fucked. Friend, Zodiac, we're calling him.
Yeah,
Zodiac, you
Zodiac
can
some
get
bullshit.
fucked.
He breaks up with him, but he gives him cologne.
You suck, Zodiac.
Yeah, no real person
he gives him
does
cool
that.
water from Macy's.
He also orders a Chardonnay, and I'm not
Exactly, I had it
talking
written
shit
down.
here,
He
but-
pounds it, too. He pounds that Chardonnay.
The chug was pretty nice.
The quote was, "I had to pick up something at Macy's. Chardonnay, please." That was the line. That was the quote.
All right, I'm body bagging the teacher ending up the crazy Marissa Tomei being the teacher, because like I don't want too many coincidences and so like I liked the fact that Nana Banana ended up being the surprise, and this felt to me like it was it was forcing it.
It was forced, but she's so good.
She's
so
I
funny
want
as
her.
the psycho.
I want her.
You don't want her to be the teacher.
I just
though.
want her to be the teacher. And I guess I get that, like, we want her more of her, so that's fair. But I think that the scene in the classroom is secondary to the scene in the apartment. So I'll just take her the one time and then
Just have her be the crazy chick that he hooks up with the first time. Yeah, I agree.
That's what I'm body bagging.
As much as it's too many coincidences, it did kind of set me up though, because it's like that coincidence happened, so then you just kind of like throw off like, oh, there's not going to be any other
another
like
one, yeah.
stupid coincidence, and all of a sudden the second one happens, like, oh fuck, here this one's like super unexpected.
It is a twist that you don't see coming. Like there was talk earlier about like, oh, you're waiting to see how it all connects, but like maybe that is like the red herring that you're like, oh, maybe this is how it all connects. He's boning the teacher. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, Brad, what do you got?
Mine's very simple. It's Jen. Because
Oh, so bad.
when she picks up the drink when they're at the El Torito and she's like grabs that dude's drink and she starts drinking, she's like, this is gin, right? She's like, fuck, I hate gin. That would be me 100% because I fucking hate
There's
gin.
like barely ice in this.
Just thinking about the taste of gin right now just bothers me. And so if I picked up somebody's drink and started drinking it and it was gin, I'd just be like, fuck you.
From
God
a man
damn it.
From a man that likes a permanent marker tasting scotch.
Hey, there's the one liquor that I just do not do. It's gin, 100%.
I don't like gin either.
All right. Some of you know that we have adopted an unofficial, totally unpaid sponsor, and that is Cameo, where you can go to pay celebrities or maybe sometimes G-list celebrities to record short messages for friends and family for a nominal fee, or sometimes a more expensive fee.
If you want to give your mom like a special message for like maybe their 40th anniversary or something for your parents, and you want to get the chick that had 3 titties in Total Recall
You
to
could probably
say it,
do that.
she's on there for $65.
I've been lobbying to rebrand this category Dead or on Cameo. So far no takers. So Brad, you're our official Cameo host. Take it away.
So we've had the last 2 previous movies that we've done. Nobody was on Cameo, and so I've been thinking a lot about what does it mean to be on Cameo. So it's like
It's fucking deep, dude.
You're
to
either-
be or not to be on Cameo.
right, and so A-listers, you're just not going to find them. That just does not happen. They're not on Cameo. And then I think the up-and-comer actors that are just like, you know what? I think I have a chance to succeed. I'm not going to be on Cameo because that would be lowering myself. So you have to find this like little happy
Well,
medium.
sweet spot, like
Yeah, the sweet spot is like I'm kind of B-list and I'm not
And I've
doing
accepted that.
great, and I've accepted that. So yeah, that's the people you're looking for on Cameo.
It's a sweet spot that's like right in between like Tara Reid and the guy that gets stabbed in Saving Private Ryan. It's a really specific sweet spot.
So yeah, finding that sweet spot is interesting. And so in this movie, I mean, you have a lot of people, a lot of actors, and I really went deep into the list, and I only came up with one, and the person has like 3 lines in the movie.
Okay, so hang on. Let's think about who has 3 lines in the movie. It's not Zodiac Killer. Nick?
I mean, it's a tough one. I mean, you're not going to, you probably don't even acknowledge who this person was.
It's the mom that finds the nudie pictures.
Oh, Beth Littleford. So I thought she would be on there. I mean,
I
she
can't
was
believe you knew the name of that actress.
Well, no, because I loved her on the Daily Show. She was awesome.
That's right.
She was on Daily Show and was great, and she's been in quite a few different things. But it was not Beth Littleford. Only person was Officer Huang.
Oh,
wow.
the cop.
The
What
cop
really didn't have
shows
much
up and he kind of reprimands them and says you should be keep it in the family.
Yeah.
Reggie Lee is his name.
Okay.
Reggie Lee has a price on Cameo, and I will say, just before you guess,
He won a Tony.
according to his next to his name, he doesn't even have this movie. He has Grimm, which I don't know what that is.
It was a show on like NBC or something. I'm
Okay,
pretty sure.
Prison Break, which I heard of, which was on Fox.
That's supposed to be good.
And then All Rise. I don't know what All Rise is. So
How much are we
a show
talking
about
for him?
dicks.
That's the question.
Yeah.
50.
Oh, I don't think so.
Nick's going 50. What do you got, Nate?
I got $29.
He was on Grimm, which was a show, I believe, about Brothers Grimm fairy tales that came to real life
sense.
in the modern day. Fucking terrible. I'm going to go. Nick went 50. You went 20 what?
29.
Okay.
51. You fucking asshole.
No, I don't think he's over 50. I'm going $39.
All right. So Reggie Lee, Officer Wong, is $65
Wow.
for the person.
What?
$455 for business use.
My night.
$455 for business.
So we
use.
can get him to say, listen to Buff's Video Kingdom.
We paid him
Everything else.
just a little bit under $500,000.
He was in Tropic Thunder, too.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
So that's your cameo. That's the only cameo, huh?
Cameo.
That's it.
Cameo.
Hey, Cameo, step up your game. Send us an email at bevsvideokingdom@gmail.com and we could use a little support here. Okay?
You know what we'll do is we'll start just lying about who's on Cameo. We'll be like Emma Stone.
I'm going to assume, Nate, did you listen to the podcast that you were not on?
I mean, the first 20 minutes.
You didn't listen to it.
I don't listen to any of the
you didn't get to the
podcasts.
Cameo moment then.
No.
So we found there's a girl on Cameo who does ASMR.
No.
Yes.
but only
Well,
non-sexual
She
ASMR.
said,
So it's very
I won't
different
do
from what you
anything
do.
creepy. Basically, it was a little disclaimer under where she had like you can hire me. I won't do anything creepy, and I don't get to use my actual ASMR mics for Cameo.
Wow.
So that's something we were
Well-
thinking. You know what? You might want to kind of get into that venture because you're pretty damn good at it.
That's quite the segue. What do you got, Nate?
I'm ready for an ASMR moment. Okay. And I was thinking a little bit about this ASMR moment. So I'm going to eat some chips and guacamole. Oddly enough, the best guacamole I ever ate was this one time years ago. I was at a conference in Washington, D.C., and I was at a bar called Madam's Organ in Adams Morgan.
What?
And I'm telling you, and I'm up there and I'm having a conversation and I order some guacamole and it's the best guacamole I ever had.
In DC,
Yeah, because they're
It
known
was
for
really
their
weird,
Mexicans.
But I'm telling you, it was at this place, and I don't know what to tell you, but I'm gonna sample this ASMR guacamole and chip for you. Oh, and this ties in because some of the scenes are at El Torito. I don't know. Let's do this.
Tableside
I thought he was
guac.
going somewhere with this. I was like, oh, he's gonna reference like Zach's guac is better than
I didn't
this.
because-
I had nothing to do with it.
I'm
My
just
wife
saying
made
things.
it. But I
thought-
did.
Oh man.
Hey, have a little faith, okay? I'm about to do an ASMR
That
moment.
chip
It's
was
gonna be
halfway
great.
through your mouth.
You know
before
what this is?
started
This is
talking
called.
again.
This is like audio edging for a lot of these people. They're like, he's gonna bite it. He's gonna bite it, and then we just keep
Oh, I'm
talking.
telling
Yeah, there's somebody out
Don't-
there right
hey,
now that's just on
just
the edge.
get ready, get ready.
First
It's almost there.
Here we go.
That sounded like some soggy ass chips. I didn't get the crunch at all.
He's been holding it for 42 minutes.
No, my microphone has guacamole on it now.
God.
Oh, the ASMR moment. It's legendary.
So for all my friends at Madam's Organ in Washington, D.C., This is your ASMR guacamole moment.
Keep making that sweet guac with all those Washington D.C. avocados.
So it's called what? Madam's Organ?
Madam's Organ.
It's a play on words.
In Adams Morgan?
Yes.
And these are places in real life? Mm-hmm. I've never been to Washington, D.C. It sounds fucking
Adams
weird.
Morgan is a neighborhood, and Madam's Organ is a bar there.
Nice stuff.
I like that.
All right, boss, quit. Get away from the mic and clear your throat and move us forward.
Okay, so we're moving on, and we're almost wrapping up here, but I want to hear some streaming recommendations. Anybody got them? Shout them out, Zach.
All right, so I've got a really good one. So, like 3 years ago, my wife and I dressed up as Emma Stone and Jonah Hill from the series Maniac on Netflix. And we love Emma Stone. We love Jonah Hill. This kind of flew under the radar, which I was surprised by. Not a lot of people saw it. Man, it's really good. Great story. Some other great guys. The guy that was married to Jen Aniston for a while is another star in it. Justin Theroux.
Yeah, he's great.
God damn, he should have been selected. That guy's sexy as fuck.
He is in The Leftovers.
Oof.
I mean,
that's TV, but still, damn.
But anyways, it's great. It's not scary, but kind of edgy and some great twists. Really, like one of these shows that's set in a alternate reality where there's like really old school technology and new technology all mixed into one in the same time frame. It's very good. Check it out. Maniac on Netflix.
All right, so I got this. Actually, I changed mine. I had one that I was going to use, and then you guys talked. We started talking about the writer Dan Fogelman, and you mentioned he wrote Cars. I was like, shit, what? How did I not know this? So I went in back and I looked. He actually wrote a movie that, I mean, just age appropriate for my daughter. So she was born in 2009, and the movie Tangled came out not too long after that, and I watched that a shit ton.
One of my daughter's favorites.
Disney animated release, and it's actually a great movie. It's awesome. It's fun. It's a cool little like romantic, like, oh, is she gonna get with them? Is she not? And like it's like they kind of go back and forth. They play on like the little romantic comedy. Fun movie. And now that I see that he wrote that, I'm like, okay, I see where this was coming from, because it's got that same kind of like playing around with some of the tropes that are in romantic comedies, and he did it well in this movie. So
Mandy Moore playing the title character of Rapunzel, and I can't believe you didn't pick Flynn Rider for our draft.
He's sexy as fuck. I mean, really.
Reformed thief.
He can take a pan to the face like nobody's business.
He can.
All right.
So yeah, I'm choosing Tangled.
That's
Tangled.
a good drunken scene too, by the way.
Yeah. Hey, there we go. Let's go ahead and take
On
Flynn
brand.
Rider.
If you're Brad
Tangled.
or my 5-year-old daughter, this is the pick.
There you go.
What do you got?
On Hulu, I got
Oh, Tangled's on Disney Plus, by the way. Disney Plus.
Yeah, that's
You can also
free-ish.
I got the Emma Stone Gosling,
Oh yeah.
the weave in of their relationship. What you love seeing them on screen, La La Land.
I have not seen it. and
Not watched
I don't
it
know
yet.
if I ever will.
I know, musical, right?
I don't do straight
I
up
know.
musicals.
I know. It's not
a blind spot.
your musical where dialogue is sung. It's not that.
It's not.
It's not.
Maybe I will watch it.
It's story with musical.
I will
numbers.
not watch movies where the dialogue is sung.
And it's done by the Damien Chazelle,
Chazelle.
Whiplash. That was what he did.
Damn it. Maybe I'll watch it.
So it was.
I love it. That was like
it.
that was like a body punch to the right, and then a body punch to the left, and then just like a nice little right cross. And Nate was like, "Fuck, I guess I gotta watch this."
So disappointedly gonna watch it.
Yeah,
I
you
am
were just
gonna-
you were throwing punches at him. He's like, "Fuck, man, I guess I better just relent."
I should give. I love both of them as actors.
The two of them on screen, they're great, and I think it's an interesting take at a love story. It's kind of a little bit more up Zach's alley.
I dug it.
Okay, you did see it. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So I'm going to give you two, and they're both romantic comedies, but the common theme is they're both not like straight up traditional romantic comedies, kind of the way that this one's not. And I actually think both are better than this one. Both fairly recent. One is called About Time. It's on Netflix, and it's Rachel McAdams. It's very British, and it's really, really good and interesting. Kind of has a time travel element to it that's not a traditional time travel, kind of not unexplained supernatural element to it.
Wasn't she also in the other time travel one, the wife of the time traveler
exactly.
or something?
Yeah. So this is About Time is one that we might do on the pod eventually, but it's really, really good, really interesting, and like not your traditional rom-com, but it's kind of a romantic dramedy, I'd say. The other one, Zach's wife Lisa the other day was in the middle of a shift and was like, I'm really bored, I need a recommendation, and so I'm going to text Nate for a rom-com. And so I gave her a whole list, but I said at the end of the day, if you're going to watch anything from the last 10 years, you got to watch Sleeping with Other People, which is Sudeikis and
Ted
Alison
Lasso.
Brie. And it's like comedy, drama, fun. Like it's as good as it gets for the last 10 years. So Sleeping with Other People, if you have Prime and the AMC add-on, you can watch it. Those are my two. They're both great. You should watch them both.
I'll say she came home, but she works night shift, and sometimes there's just nobody to take care of as a night shift nurse. And so she watched that movie on her shift and came home and was like, "Oh, Nate told me to watch this movie. It was great."
Jacked.
She loved it. She
jacked.
really liked it.
Yeah.
About Time, though,
About Time.
I'm with you, dude.
Yeah, it's great. So those are both great movies, and movies that if you keep us rolling into year 3, those are both on the pod.
I got nothing to say about any of that shit.
All right, so we're in our
I
final.
had no soul.
No puppets, no comment.
We're on our last stretch here, and we're gonna do reshelf / alternate ending. So the reshelfs are. You take the movie, Crazy Stupid Love, but you turn it into a totally different genre. You move it from one shelf in Bev's Video Kingdom in the store to another. The other is propose an alternate ending. Anybody got them? I got an alternate ending. I don't have a reshelf. I got an alternate ending.
I have a combo reshelf
I love it.
alternate ending. Like
Sure.
it's kind of a both. And so the scene that came to my mind at the big reveal in the backyard when everybody starts showing up and it's like, oh shit, I know you. Oh, I know you. And then it just starts, of course, snowballing from there. The scene that came to my mind was the end of Reservoir Dogs, where everybody starts pointing guns at each other. So I'm imagining some type of like darker movie where Steve Carell, he's brought his gun out to show Gosling. Gosling happens to have a gun too. The babysitter's dad comes in the yard. He's got his gun.
Oh, you know the Zodiac's got a gun.
Would you know Kevin Bacon? He has a gun too. I don't know. Maybe he's a cop. He instead of an
Bacon's got
an
an
accountant.
Oh,
And so
a cop named Bacon, huh?
hey, you know.
Oh my God.
So they're all standing there looking at each other, and you know what? Some violence goes down. I didn't even get further than that, but that's just what it reminded me of. That little like that kind of standoff where they're all like looking at each other, like, "Oh fuck, you fucked me over, and like everybody's staring at each other.
Love it.
And some bad shit went down.
That's
I don't know how it ends.
Everybody dead.
I don't know. Yeah, if everybody's dead or if it just couple people live, I don't know.
I love it.
So I'm gonna piggyback Brad because I'm gonna go with a similar twist, or not even a twist, but the same scene where everybody comes together. I think they double twist you in my movie. So they come in, and not only do you find out that Emma Stone is Nana that they've been talking about, and you're like, oh my goodness, but you also find out at that time that David Lindhagen is Ryan Gosling, and he's the one that fucks.
The double
Yes.
whammy.
And he doesn't even know it until he shows up and meets her
We were
mom.
asking what he does for a living. He's a
Exactly.
fucking accountant.
He's a fucking accountant, a top notch.
He comes in, and everybody realizes all at once that not only is he fucking Steve Carell's wife, but he's fucking Steve Carell.
That's a better movie, I think.
I think
that
so,
might
too.
be the best alternate we've ever had on Bevs. That's like the double switch. It's like somebody sends the fucking like pinch hits for the righty with the lefty, and then the guy fucking puts in the fucking righty, and then they just switch to another switch hitter. It's just a fucking mess.
Oh,
I think that there's a twisty turny. Maybe if Fincher directed it, that's
and
that's
that
what we
for
get.
sure ends in the gun standoff, and someone
Steve Carell definitely kills
people
somebody at
are
that point.
dying. At
Zach
that
and
point.
Brad's alternators in the same universe.
And if we go with
They're
Brad's
co-written,
but if we go with Brad's earlier one, where it's actually the Brick Tamblyn movie, then Brick actually stabs him with a trident, and there's a grenade.
Yes, for sure. The grenade goes off at that point. Oh, he's pulling the pin that time.
I think we've got an Oscar winner if we go with that.
Nikki, what do you
I
have?
can't follow that.
Yeah, I've got a lame ass altogether compared to that. What do you got?
Are we saying our lame ass?
Say
let's
it.
do our lame
All
ass.
right.
Fuck it.
Fuck. All right. Do I
Wah,
say it in a
wah,
monotone?
wah,
Like, you
wah.
want to
Say it
push that
real-
button
say
or
it
what?
real
You want to
bo-
push that
say it real
trombone or what?
boring. Wah, wah.
We'll try it again.
Brad just...
Shit, you know what? I
loud.
just realized I fucked it up because it wasn't even on.
Do it again.
So we all laughed
We
that
all
someone
heard
wasn't
it.
there. We'll try it again.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
it's just as good the third time.
What do you got?
That's about when I come into this thing. All right. Okay, so Gosling talks about how something happened to him to turn him into the womanizing dude that he is.
Oh.
But he never talks about it. And so what are we doing? We're following the storyline of the teenager who is in love with a girl but gets completely shut down. And we're seeing these like individual storylines. So what it is so there's a little girl daughter that's the youngest daughter, right, in the family that we don't see until like the whole group.
Yeah.
So instead of showing the teenage son is its own story, parallel story that's going on during the movie. So you're seeing this parallel story of this teenager who's in love with his babysitter. Maybe they show the little girl as like another little middle story as like the youngest daughter is involved in this family of divorce, and then you have obviously Emma Stone. How they wrap it up at the end is making you, and maybe they show some things that are dated in the teenage story of angst and things like that with the babysitter. They just basically what they do is they tie it together, and that character, they let you know that the character, the teenage kid who fell in love and it was turned down by his babysitter, ended up being Gosling.
So it's not actually his son, but it's
that's
like
a young Ryan Gosling.
you don't know it's a flashback until that's a great twist too, Nick. I like that a lot.
That's good.
and that's why Ryan Gosling is the
And he finally gets chicks because he cuts his fucking hair. Because whatever that kid's haircut's got going on is problematic
like
for me.
Carell say, looks like a sheepdog. Yeah,
I have the dumbest alternate ending compared to all those. I just wanted them to do better with the graduation scene.
Yeah, the graduation scene's cheesy as fuck.
I just want him to basically have the kid do a speech that's like about like how he's disheartened by love, and then they just cut to the like
like a
post
Cameron Crowe. Give me a Cameron Crowe speech.
yeah, and then they just cut to the like the lawn at the post, and everybody kind of like makes nice and like it's better,
Yeah.
not like some shit show. But since that's boring, I just say we just take it into the back room and we make it like a big weird porno.
Although I gotta say that
I got a good reshelf. Always a good reshelf.
Reshelf it.
Anytime you can throw it to the porno section, it's a good one.
I say the babysitter grabs Cal and Jacob and just goes to
the scene.
Greatest three-way
We're
ever.
doing incest porn now. Oh no, Jacob. Okay, I thought you meant the kid.
It was juvenile incest porn.
yeah. She probably was 18. All right.
I gotta say though, this movie has one of the ultimate, like we were talking about earlier, like having a crush on a much older chick. I mean, we haven't even talked about the fact that at the end of this movie, the older chick that he's absolutely in love with gives him her nudes.
Dude, just for a moment. Let's just
He never leaves his room again.
Could we please put ourselves in the shoes of what he's the 8th grader? He's a freshman?
No, he's a freshman. He's in high school.
His dick is so callous by the time he's a junior with those pictures. I mean,
Can you imagine being a freshman and having the senior you had a crush on give you a naked photograph?
like
It might have-
multiple.
He might be in middle school. I'm sorry. Hold on.
I mean,
He just
he just graduated from 8th grade.
It's 8th grade
Right.
graduation.
Yeah.
you would be out of your your whole mind would be blown. You would be like, this is unreal.
What I have to say is that when we were watching the movie, like we got to the end and it's like wrapping up. So I'm like, okay, it's kind of closing out here. So I'm like making some notes on my phone, like for the pod. And I go check and I was doing a little research later and I saw an article that said that, problematic scene is that she gives a nude picture of it. And I was like, wait, that happened? And I had to go talk to him. I was like, hey, did the girl give the junior high kid her nude picture? She's like, yeah, you didn't see that? I was like, oh, fuck, I completely missed that. So I did not even see that happen.
Wait, what was the article saying was problematic about it?
It was just saying that things are probably like, I mean, I don't know what the I don't know what the.
I mean, she's underage.
It was on
She's
wokenews.com, so I don't know.
wokenews.com. All right, guys.
So fucking woke.
We have we've run this one up and down the flagpole a few times. I think we did it justice. I appreciate you guys coming along for it. I love this movie. Far from perfect, but it was a fun one.
Hey, do you know what's coming up next?
I sure do. We are going to draft the sexiest men since 1990, sexiest male movie roles.
I have no problem with that. I'm just saying what's really coming up next.
I literally don't know. Oh, you mean because our wives are coming on to judge us?
That thing.
Just that small detail.
The four wives, my wife Courtney, Nick's wife Denise, Zach's wife Lisa.
Did you just call her Denise?
Denise. He called Denise. He called her Denise.
Yo, what's up, girl?
I'm sorry. Is the T silent?
This is my wife, Denise.
It's a soft T.
It's a soft T.
Actually, it's ED.
Denise. She used to be Denise, and now she's Denise. And Brad's wife Melissa are coming on to judge our taste in men. So we're gonna give that to you on Thursday.
They're already pre-partying, as you may have been able to hear throughout this last segment.
That's not enough of a cliffhanger. Just let go. You know, just like
they are over there. We told them to use their NPR voices, and they are absolutely not.
We can yell at them. We'll be like, "Hey, Denise!"
Hey, yo, Denise.
I called Denise like 3 times.
All right, folks. Oh my! One of our wives is wandering over right now. She's just assaulting Zach, and it's not even Zach's wife. No. All right, so we're gonna see you guys in a couple days. You should jump in for our taste in men and also our wives' opinions about our taste in men. Thanks for listening. Like us, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Comment on our stuff. Download our shit. I don't know. Email us.
Hey, if you comment on Facebook, you know we're going to probably comment back. So get in that. We
will definitely comment back. If somebody random comments back to you on your comment to us on Facebook or Rewatchable's Facebook page or something like that, we don't identify ourselves, but I guarantee you it's us because no one else is commenting.
All right. We love you, Bevs. We'll see you next time.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
I can brag your favorite podcast. The star